Hello everybody, this is InnerVision07 back with another garbage content video that for some reason you have decided to make the poor life decision to watch, because why not, you know? I didn't have anything better to do with my Friday night, so here we are. So this is going to be kind of my 2v2, this will be my first episode in my little 2v2 series where I just play 2v2s. I'll probably do I'll probably do 5-6 matches per episode. It kind of depends. I'll try to keep it to about half hour maybe. But basically for this 2v2 session, I guess I'll go over ranks. So basically oops, I don't do that. So there's solo battle, team battle, adventures, draft, and other stuff no one cares about. I mean, at least I don't. But there's a ranking for this, which right here. Team rank, I am Master rank 1. So basically your ranks, as you can see here, I don't play 1v1s. 2v2s in my opinion is like the best part of Minion Masters. If you ever play this game, I would recommend 2v2s because they're really fun. Because it just turns out, you know, in this case more is better because you have more teammates. And, you know, you and a buddy, or I guess in this case random. You can do pre-mates, but I have no friends, so it's okay. Against just randos, you know, and it's just a random hodgepodge of chaos, and hopefully it goes well. But yeah, basically, so this is the lowest rank wood, and my rank is Master 1 in 2v2. So basically, the ranking goes, it goes wood, bronze, silver, gold, and it goes 1 through 5 for each rank. So it's like 1 through 5 wood, 1 through 5 bronze, 1 through 5 silver, 1 through 5 gold, then 1 through 5 platinum, and then 1 through 5 master, and after master, they're the grandmaster. And I've hit grandmaster before. I'd like to think at this game I'm not a professional, I don't have the time for that, but I'm not bad. You know, I'm in the upper skill level, I guess, for people that play this game, because I put a lot of time into it, so I hope at least I know what I'm doing. Or I'm complete garbage and the game's just easy, you know. I'm not one to judge people. But yeah, so basically also, as you noticed here, I need 675 points to reach Grandmaster, because I'm at Master rank 1 right now. But if you noticed here, I only need 100 points to rank up. So basically the earlier ranks go faster because you need a lot less victory points. Like if you win, you get so many points. If you lose so many points. So yeah, I'll just hop into it. I guess before I start, I did kind of like a walkthrough video, like just generic things. I'm just going to kind of do a quick rundown of what this deck I'm going to be playing for this episode is, because, well, why not? So basically this deck here, my master is Ravager, and his perks, if you see here. So basically Ravager's kind of like a melee master, and he only attacks stuff at close range. Although things that matter with melee don't matter to him. But yeah, he attacks really fast. He has really high DPS at 33.33. That might be the highest DPS to the masters, I think. Or it's up there. And yeah, but he's short range. Short range units can be kind of annoying for him to deal with because he can't reach them. Because he sits still. He sits on his tower there and doesn't move. But with Brutus, his perks are he's kind of a fun master. So basically when he hits level 1, his level 1 perk is summoning a pretty big tanky dude. And Best Bud's his name here. Ravager summons Brutus. And what does Brutus do? Well, Brutus is a tank. He's got 800 health. He has a DPS of 20 and heals himself 50 per attack. So basically, and he's also got the mythic trait. So I guess I'll explain the mythic trait real quick before I go through it. So the mythic trait here is the unit leaves the battlefield instead of dying. Brutus dies, so that doesn't matter. Your team can only have one copy of this unit. Okay, so what matters for mythic is none of this text here. What matters is destroy. So basically, if there's a destroy effect against Brutus, instead of outright dying, he loses 50% of his max health instead. So that's like the big thing with mythic, because he's not a card. Also, Brutus is factionless. So back to Brutus. So basically, he deals 50 damage every time he swings, and he heals himself for 50, and he attacks every 2.5 seconds. And that's your level 1 perk. Once he dies, your level 1 perk's gone. But what's nice about this is Brutus's value is something like maybe 5 mana almost for free. It's pretty close to that. if you compare them to like other units. So just for getting healing level, you kind of just get a free 5 mana just paid out there, and hey, turns out that's pretty good. So what you want to do is you want to pay attention to your XP, and as it says here, time your attacks to match with Brutus to appearing for strong pushes. Because what you do is you'll get an advantage because you'll get ahead with this free tank that your opponent has to deal with, and you'll get extra experience so you can get ahead of your opponent to get your other perks faster. So that's kind of nice. Now, granted, if Brutus gets absolutely dumpstered on and dies, well, your level 1 perk's just kind of sad. But that's Brutus's life. Or that's Ravager's life. Now, his second perk is really powerful, probably one of the strongest perks in the game, I think. So basically, friendly minions that have less than 66% health gain haste. And what is haste? Well, haste is a special buff to a unit where it gets 33% movement speed and 33% attack speed, and it also removes slow if they're slowed. And that is really strong, as it turns out. It used to, recently this got reworked, it used to be different, but it's still really powerful. So basically, once units hit so low health, just having them. So what this does is it makes units that are kind of tanky, like big tanks, are kind of nice with Ravager, because this percent is 33% whether it's a scrat, or it's 33% whether it's this 10 cost unit right here. This guy. So that makes a big difference, and so that's why he kind of likes big tanks, because he gets a lot out of that buff. And yeah, that's his most powerful ability at second. Well, all of his abilities work nicely, because although he'll never be, Brutus will never get this, but his third perk, go figure, it's Brutus, but this time it's Terror Brutus. And what is Terror Brutus? Well, Terror Brutus actually has Mythic and does the same damage. He does 50 damage every 2.5 seconds and heals himself 50 damage every auto attack, but he has 2,000 HP instead of 800. So basically you summon a super tank for free, and that's your third level. And this is kind of like make or break. You push. It's not uncommon where Terror Brutus pops up and you kill your opponent with Terror Brutus, because Terror Brutus for free is pretty good. And if normal Brutus is worth about 5 mana, Terror Brutus is almost about getting 10 mana almost for free, and that's a pretty big deal, as it turns out. It's kind of hard to compare Terror Brutus to about 10 mana because he's got the healing attack system. He's somewhere between like 8 and 10. It's maybe 9. But that's kind of what I would value him at, just based on my experience in the game and stuff. So yeah. And the other nice thing is Terror Brutus, he also will get this buff where he's got that feeding frenzy, so once he gets below 66% health, he'll start attacking faster and healing himself faster and stuff. So Terror Brutus can just be really hard to kill, because I think 2,000 health is actually the highest in the game, apart from without like some weird shenanigan buffs or the Master Tower having 3,000 health. Because throughout the whole game, your tower has 3,000 health. So if that gives you an idea how much health 2,000 health is, that kind of gives you a fair idea. And that's Brutus. If Brutus hits, usually if Ravager hits Rebel 3 and Terror Brutus dies and you didn't win, you're probably going to lose. That's kind of how Ravager is. So it's kind of fun. So this deck here, based on his second perk, is kind of what I'm trying to go through. My deck is built mostly around Mardred, Prince of Nightmares. What does this guy do? Well, he's a mythic, like that deck. He's got 1,200 health, compared to like Brutus, who's got 2,000. But he does a lot more damage than Brutus, and that's kind of not a fair comparison. But basically, Mythic has this effect where, since this is a unit, and my teammate can have one of these, or I can have multiple copies of this in my deck. See, like I can wild card this and... Oops, not remove it, because I'm bad. But I can put 3 copies of them in the deck and, be really bad, because my deck can be built around them, but I don't need to use my wild cards. I don't need my wild cards for anything. Basically, wild cards is I can add extra copies. Removing cards because I'm bad at hitting buttons. Where the fuck are those little barrel scrats? There. Yeah, so you can add extra copies. Like, maybe if I was going to add a wild card, I might consider a second priestess. But that is... Basically, you don't want wild cards because you want to cycle through your strategy. Because I have a strategy built in this deck, and the wild cards, if I have more copies of priestess, I gotta cycle through to them, more of them, before I get back to Mardred or Craggle or whatever I want to do with my strategy here. So the more times I can get some Mordred and play him, the better. But I don't want 3 copies of Mordred, because if I get in a hand where I have 3 copies of Mordred, that's really bad because I have a lack of options in that scenario, because you only have 4 cards at a time available to play. So back to what this guy does. So basically Mordred is kind of a big... He's a big... he is kind of like a tank, because he's just got that high health, but he also costs 10, so it's not as significant to where, like, if you compare him to Living Statue, it's got 1200 health. But basically, he's like an anti-tank killer, kind of, because he does pretty high DPS at 80. DPS is really high. And basically, how his attack work is kind of a unique effect, where he does 40 damage times 4, because each of his little void tendril thingies attacks 4 times every 2 seconds, so he'll do 40, math. And he only attacks ground, but he's also got this special attack, and whenever he attacks a minion with 40% lower or with 40% or less health, he destroys it, or basically will execute it, and, that's pretty good. So, if he attacks a Terror Brutus, where 40% for Terror Brutus would be around 800, he would just flat up do 800 damage in one attack and execute Terror Brutus, which is really strong, as it turns out. So that's what makes him really strong against other tanks, or, like, high health things. Is he's got that execute effect, and he's got high enough damage to kind of mow him down to the... And then he also has got this effect that inflicts fear, and fear is this kind of new mechanic in the new expansion that came out recently, where the enemies are like, oh shit, my big dude, or, they just got brutally executed, and they all run away for 10 seconds. But what this kind of ends up doing is Mordred will, execute stuff, and he can kind of just pick things off and keep enemies actually from literally not attacking as they just run away. So he can kind of just drive stuff back, which is kind of a cool thing, and it's really strong. Sometimes it's a little weird and doesn't go in your favor, because you'll, like, fear something where you don't want it, but most of the time it's pretty good. And kind of how it works with him, so basically he's got a speed of 2 and he's big, so he's kind of weak against just getting piled down by ranged units because he's so slow and he won't move through them fast. And because he executes them and they run away, they'll just come back and shoot at him from a distance, and he's got to break the gap to get back to him. So that's kind of his weakness, is swarm units to an extent, and ranged units. But he's really good against, other tanky units. That's kind of like his purpose. So that's what I build around. So my support units here. So my other support unit, even though it costs 8, is Craggle, or Dr. Discount, as I like to call him. So basically, he is literally the exact same as another unit called Cleaver that costs 6. So when you play him, his stats are exactly as an old Cleaver. But when he costs 8, so you're upfronting a cost of 2. So what Cleaver does is he's got 550 health, so he's pretty average. Like, he's got enough health that I would call him tanky, but it's not like he's gonna tank the whole world. But he's not gonna just fall over dead immediately, usually. But if you notice here, he's got 300 damage whenever he swings, but he's got an attack speed or attack cooldown of 5 seconds. So basically, he does extremely high, slow, swings, as he's got a giant sword here, and he literally cleaves things in half. And he's also really fast at a movement speed of 10. But what this ends up doing is Cleaver's really good against units he can one-shot or almost one-shot. The Cleaver's best target in the game would be this guy here. So Braha the Witch Wolf is a ranged unit that does really high, ranged AoE damage. This guy can be annoying to deal with. But if he walks up to the bridge, you play Cleaver right next to him, he'll pimp slap this guy for 300 damage, and look, he has a 6 cost unit that just killed a 7 cost unit. Now, part of this guy's cost is he's got a play effect, so it's not quite 7, but you can kind of just, gauge it. That's like the best example for it. So Crackles is the exact same thing as that. But he's got this special effect that when killing a minion or hitting the enemy master, he reduces the cost of a Voidborn card in your hand by 1. And Mordred is a Voidborn card. So whenever you play him, it's not super hard to get in a scenario where you might be able to get 3 discounts out of Dr. Discount, as he bitch slaps things and gives you discounts as he celebrates their devs, because that's what he does. So yeah, he's here to just kind of help reduce the cost for my strategy around Mordred, because so Mordred's Voidborn. I've also got this Rampage, which increases. So Rampage gives friendly minions in this 6 radius rage. And rage is plus 50% attack damage. So that's really strong on like Kragul or Mardred, which does really high damage. Increasing their damage by more damage, so they, you know, as it turns out, damage is good. So yeah, so he can reduce the cost of that. That's a Voidborn spell. I've got my all favorite Fireball. He can reduce the cost of that. So I've got a couple of Voidborn cards. Like Fireball supports him. Rampage can support him. Like Fireball can help clear flying units attacking him because he only attacks melee. He can't attack flying. So like Fireball can help clear the shit off of him. And then Rampage increases damage. Healing Fireball is not Voidborn, but basically it's a Fireball, but it heals because I don't know. It heals. But it heals for 400. So for 3 mana you're healing a unit for 400, which is actually a lot of it. And that's kind of like just to support him. So yeah, there's that. So Kragul's here is just a support unit to kind of just make my main strategy around this guy work. This unit here, Aimbot, is a solid ranged unit. You need ranged units to deal with flying stuff. So basically, it's got shield, so it blocks all damage from the first sword. So it basically, if I play this unit and someone fireballs it, it's got a shield. The shield will tank the 170 damage and it will just be fine. Nothing will happen to it. So shield's pretty strong. It's got marksmanship. So instead of 8 range, it actually has 10 range. Because this is actually another unit, but it costs 1 more, and it's got these 2 keywords. But it's got 45, DPS of 41, 1.1 attack cooldown. So this is just your generic solid ranged unit against everything. It does solid single target damage. It attacks fast enough to where it can kind of mow through swarms. Yeah, and it's got enough defense and its shield and natural health to where, yeah, it's just solid. This guy here, Whirly Scrat, is a melee unit. He's got 390 health, so he can function as kind of like a little tank a little bit. He's got enough health. But basically he does damage, and what you've seen him did. He spins, and he does damage in a radius around him. And he does 55 damage. But what he's really good with is the problem with Kragul and Mardred is they're not real good against swarms. Like Kragul, he's kind of funny because you want to like play him to a certain point to where he's killing units. So like if there's a swarm of units like funneling in, he's not bad to play because he'll just kill one, kill one, kill one. You get more discounts that way. But he can also be swarmed down where because he only attacks every 5 seconds, well, he's gonna just get piled down by them and die. So this guy's good to like play in front of them to help clear out all them little swarm units. So that's kind of why I like Squirrely Scrat. These 2 units you can change. I've just settled on this for now. Priestess is a very... This unit is, if it's dealt with, if this is one of them units, if it isn't dealt with, your opponent can just lose. That's how powerful it is, because it's healing. It heals 33 health per second. She also has 150 health and has an auto attack that does some damage. I think she actually does almost the same damage as a crossbow dude, a little bit more. So she's kind of like a crossbow dude too. I guess that's a good unit. She's got a shorter range. But she also has a speed of 2, so she moves slow, but she moves at the same speed that this guy does. So you play her behind this guy, and this guy gets healed, and it turns out healing your unit is good. And that's kind of like how you support him. Now, she's obviously vulnerable to like Fireball and stuff, and this is like, I think Priestess is the main reason why Fireball, almost would consider not an essential spell, but having something like Fireball to kill Priestess is almost essential. Because if you can't answer Priestess, you're going to have a really bad time. So yeah, those are these kind of units. So now this unit here, Armored Scrats, this is kind of like just a tank swarm unit in a way. These Scrats have this special thing called Barrel Shield, to where they have an extra 50 health, but at a speed of, their speed's reduced by 2, so they move slower. But basically, it's like it functions like the actual keyword shield, but it's a little bit different. The shield has health instead of just blocking the next hit. Like shield will go away whether it takes 300 damage or 1 damage, where this goes away whether it can take 300 damage, but it could take 10 damage, then 20 damage, and they still have their shield, and then they could take 300 damage and the shield goes away. So it's kind of like a special thing. But that lets them tank kind of nicely. They can tank big hits, and there's enough units here to where they can kind of almost swarm stuff down. So I like Barrel Scrats, or Armored Scrats. I like calling them Barrel Scrats. And they also, you can split them and take bridges. They're just solid. I think they're a nice unit. And that's why they're here. They're just here as like cycled and nice distraction. And then I've got Crossbow Dudes as just a cheap, split, take bridges, and I need ranged units. So that's what they are. Yeah, they serve their purpose in life. So yeah, that's the deck, kind of the strategy, and we're gonna actually play matches now. 20 minutes. Well, you know, maybe next time I won't explain the deck as long. Oh well. We're in it for the long haul now. This might be a longer video, but that's okay. Oh, I'll worry about that later. Huh, I'll do a quick breakdown of what the deck proceeds to talk 20 minutes about the strategy. Oh well, I guess if I do more episodes on this in the future, at least I don't have to explain everything. I really didn't have to, but I feel like for people watching that don't really know anything, it's kind of nice to at least give kind of a breakdown of what my objective is. Alright, so I'm Ravager, we have Stormbringer against Milloween and Stormbringer.
Duel!
So yeah, you can just sit here and commentate as, you know, things happen. Oh my gosh, this hand's really bad. So sometimes this happens with this deck. So I've got Maldred and all those support spells. And that's just unfortunate. So they played Colossalus here. Now this guy is not bad against Colossalus, but I'm gonna play him here. This is kind of what this guy was built to deal with, was that. So we'll see how it goes. Now I can be out supported here. It just kind of depends on how things go. But normally this is a good matchup for me. So now they played that. I'm gonna play Rage here actually. Oh nice, my teammate actually did some. Okay. So now they played that, I can play Priestess, and they might not have a spell to kill her. Yeah. Execute! Yeah, okay, so see, he did really good against that. And now I'm just gonna see stuff's going on over here, but whatever. I'm trying to do what I can to, you know, do go with this. So I'm just gonna throw a healing fireball on that. And this might actually kill my teammates. Okay, so they killed the healer. Okay, see they played Craggle, but since he got executed, he got feared, and now he's just gonna mow through Craggle and get absolutely shit on. And once he locks onto the tower, it's kind of ripped. Yeah, so watch their health here. It's just, oh yeah, look at that damage. And yeah, that's kind of the play of the deck. And this went extremely well. Sometimes it doesn't go this well, but yeah, they're just dead. Okay. And that's what Maldred is really, really good at, is that. That was like, you know, absurdly same value, but you know, that's how it goes.
You get a reward. You get a reward. Everyone gets a reward.
Oh yeah, and then there's rewards. Yeah, so then my rank goes up, and we're getting just a little bit closer to Grandmaster. So that game was pretty fast. I said I was going to do about 5 to 6. Yeah, RIP quest. This game also has daily quests where if you do certain things, you get gold, and you can use gold to unlock units. But I've played this game so much, I have every unit already unlocked. So, I really don't have a purpose for gold other than making cards shiny. Okay, so it's Stormbringer, Ravager against Storm. Okay, mirror match. Everyone, this theoretically should be a decent game. This is what I like about Sparrow Scrats. I can play them here, and they're not going to do too bad. I don't know if they'll actually beat the Plasma Marines. No, they won't with that. But, yeah, whatever. It's sadness. My teammate didn't. Okay, so I'll play Whirly Scrag here. I should have played Whirly Scrat not there, but it's fine. Okay, so that unit's a problem. So I'm going to Fireball it, because it's just going to shit over everything. So yeah, fuck that unit. This guy here, Spirit Mancer, is a really strong unit, where basically a unit he's attacking, he'll pull the spirit out of the thing he's killing and buff the health. So you see this guy, Plasma Marine, he's actually got 250 health, and that's a big deal. It's a decent buff. Alright, so Brutus is coming up here. I'm thinking about maybe playing Craggle here. Actually, my opponent played a thing that's just going to kill that. That's like an anti-tank. Okay, well, they got countered. But, okay. But basically, my opponent made a good play there, but then my opponent's countered it nicely. So now we're getting kind of decent damage done to us. But, you know, that's how it goes. My Brutus should do some work. Because I've got this unit behind Terror Brutus, because Brutus is going to go that way. I might consider healing. I'm going to play the healer, heal Brutus a little bit. Okay, my opponent's going to take the bridge. Nice. And I'm going to consider... Okay, so they're playing their anti-push spell, which makes me cry horribly. That's like the best spell to counter my strategy, basically, is that little rain of fireballs. So they played that there. I'm just going to play Crossbow Dude back here. And then I'll play Barrel Scrats. No. Just take the bridges back. Yeah, unfortunately, those drone buzzers... Okay. Yeah. Hey, teammate, you're doing good things. Alright, so I'm just... Okay, so they played that there, so I'm gonna... Kind of as you see the last game, they played Colossals. I'm gonna play my guy who's good against Colossals. I'm gonna play him in the back, so I have time to build up mana. Okay, he's... Fuck, the Colossals is going this way. Okay, well, you know. Sometimes that happens. Like, I could wait for the Colossals to get to the bridge and play it, but, you know, my opponents... I think Mordred's harder to deal with than this, so I'm just gonna support Mordred and see what happens. Alright, so now I'm looking here. Okay, so Stun Lancers are a great counter to... fucking... That's a problem. Well, that wasn't worth it. Oh, nice. My teammate did a good play. So now they're going to take a bunch of damage from Mordred before he dies. Yeah, look at all that damage. And the Colossalist here got countered by a unit that hard counters big slow units, which was, Man, Craigle just isn't good this game. I haven't had a good opportunity to play him. Okay, Craigle right here. So this unit has 300 health. I play Craigle. I get an instant value in 5 mana because I just killed a 5 mana unit. So now whenever Craigle does is kind of gravy because he effectively got me 6-7 mana now, and then he died. But that was a really good Craigle. You know, Craigle can be better, but you don't need to be, you know, super greedy with him. Oh, there's Troubadour. Okay, add that spell though. Oh, this is gonna be a hard match. I am not okay. What, Ghost? Really? Okay. So I'm gonna play healer here to support this Troubadour and try to keep the Troubadour alive. Because he's got a lot of health to heal, and well, as go figure, the name healer actually heals units. Yeah, we're just... Okay, so... Well, our opponents are kind of getting in a bad spot. Oh, that lightning was savage. Okay, so I'm going to play Rage here. And I think that's probably GG. Yeah, there's... And see, if you notice here with, like, all these units attacking super fast, because they have the Frenzy from Ravager's passive. So, yeah. Another good game. Props to my opponent there. He was pretty solid. And, yeah. Nothing. So, like, at the end of the match, I can look at what my opponent's having. So, my teammate... Yeah, I like that Stormbringer deck. It's pretty solid. He's got wild cards and Plasma Marines and Infiltration, which... It worked pretty nicely as a Spiritmancer. I like his deck here. He did a really good Lightning on that Colossalist, because Colossalist cost 9, so he got free 5 mana, essentially, because it destroyed it. My opponent here... Ravager deck. I don't know how I feel about this deck. It's kind of strange. He's got these ATG drones, which are pretty interesting with Ravager. I don't like it with Ravager, but you know, that's whatever. But you can play whatever. And the Stormbringer deck... Interesting. I like the wild card and shield crossbows, alright. And Divine Warrior wild card's interesting. The rest of it, he never used this combustion, which he should have been using with the Colossalist. But I guess he never got a good opportunity to. Like, I never really had a good opportunity to play Craigle except once when he played the Incubus, and I could just shit all over it. Got Magma Cannon. Yeah, his deck's alright. I don't know about this opponent. I'm not really sure what he's trying to do with this. So yeah, we'll do some more games, because we can. So yeah, I guess if people want, I would be open to feedback on stuff I can improve on and whatnot. You know, obviously I'm not a professional, I'm quite amateur, but I'm just doing this for people's entertainment because, why not? That's what I'm here to do. You know, but in reality, I'm just sitting here talking to myself in a room completely alone with, you know, looking at a piece of plastic and some random mechanical things happening in front of me. If you think about it like that, it's actually really depressing. You're just here all alone, wanting to do stuff for people, but you're not. You're just there, alone in a room, talking to yourself. And that's why I thought I'd be good at this, because I can talk to myself for hours and hours. So it's like it's no different. I'm like, hey, I play games and talk to myself, so why not try doing YouTube videos out of it? Because why not? Alright, so I like this starting hand. I don't... It's alright. Usually if you get crossbow dudes or barrel scrats, I'm super happy, but I'm not going to complain about this. My first play will probably be aimbot in the back. or if my opponent plays something. I'll wait. Okay, so they played that, so I'm gonna play Mardred. The Mardred's really good to kill big tank, and that's what that is. So I'm actually gonna start him there. We'll just see what happens. And my opponent, okay, so they actually played a pretty good unit there. I'm gonna wait a little bit to play this priestess. I'm gonna play this here to support that bridge. Okay, I'm gonna... the executes. They're so savage. I'm just gonna fireball, and... Okay. So see, this is kind of what Martyr does. He's probably gonna die now, but he got his value. I'm not gonna support him anymore because it's not worth it. But he did pretty good there. See, I played this there. Unfortunately, Brutus wasn't in front to tank for that, but Brutus, you know, he'll do his thing. So now we've got this to deal with, and this is kind of a problem. There's a big push here. I'm gonna wait till it gets to about here. I'm gonna play Whirly Scrat here to do a bunch of area damage. Now, Whirly Scrat's probably gonna die, but, you know, he did some work there. He tanked immediately, and now all the shit's dead. That's what Whirly Scrat did. So there's this Cleaver coming. I'm gonna place the crossbow, dude. It's a low value unit individually, so, you know, Cleaver's just gonna shit all over that, but it doesn't matter because he completely overkilled. Okay, I think I'm gonna wait to play Kragul here. My hand's kind of bad. Yeah, this isn't good. Right. I'm gonna play him so he targets the Cleaver, so we don't get shit on, dude. The opponent's played a really high. I didn't get any discounts. Oh, well. This might be a bad Kragul. Well, is it? Yeah, he's not gonna get any discounts. Okay, so if I had Fireball, that would be really good in this set. So I see this here. I think I'm gonna wait to play Mardred here because he's gonna be good at kind of keeping this push here at bay, as he's gonna execute him and just push him back. He's not the greatest against Swarm, but he's gonna do that in fear to units, so the units don't do anything and just die slowly. And we need to push. We need to keep the pressure off. They have enough health to where he'll execute them and not just kill him. All right. I'm gonna place this here. The Master Tower will tank a little bit, but you know, we got pressure and stuff everywhere. And that push is bad. Okay, so my opponent's Master, he can play. He gets a special card that he can play to make us invulnerable. So that was actually a really good use of there. So props to my teammate. Okay, these guys, I need to place Whirly Scrat here. Okay, I kind of. So they countered the healer, which sucks, but Martyr's doing his work. I don't think he's quite paid for himself yet, but he's getting there. So now he's got Frenzy, and he's a big threat to my opponents. So I'm gonna say, okay, so they play Ghost. You gotta play Fireball to kill that Ghost, or that Ghost is gonna take that over. Ah, fuck. Okay, I was too slow. So now we have to deal with that, because I suck at the game. Overall, we're not doing too bad. We're kind of losing in the life department, and we're losing in XP. So we might, you know, I don't feel... Okay, this push here will probably kill us. I don't have anything great. My hand really sucks against that. I can't really do anything. I'll try stuff, but unfortunately my strategy is really bad. So you see, sometimes this works really well, and sometimes you got pooped on. I mean, I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna keep trying, but yeah. Okay, yeah, that's all she wrote. There's just, you know, random stuff. Aha, have healing fireball off and go more. And we blew up. I'll get my opponents to well played. And I'll be sad. And have a spooky ghost. I'm drunk, that's what happened. So yeah, you don't win all games. That's what it is. So that's like 2 games. Let me look at what the video link's at. Okay, yeah, I'll do 2-3 more games, and then we'll call it from there. So yeah, I don't know. How's to the people in the future who have made the questionable decisions to watch this? I don't know. What do you think of what I've started to do? You know, kind of don't really know what I'm doing, but it's working. I mean, it's not working. I mean, I'm making videos, and that's what I want to do. So, yeah, I don't know. So sometimes you get the same master, and sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes a bad thing. So the thing with this is Double Ravager is really strong on his level 1 and level 3 because you get double Brutus. The problem is your level 2 perk is actually wasted because this doesn't stack. Like, You know? So we got 2 Feeding Frenzies, but they don't stack, so it's wasted. Yeah, I'll do Craggle. Might be a little YOLO to play Craggle first card, but okay, so they play Ghost. So now that I know they have Ghost, that's really valuable information to me. Because now I know I gotta keep my Fireball for my other units going forward to deal with Ghost. Basically, I always need to keep Fireball for Ghost, because if I don't, I'll just get absolutely wrecked by Ghost like I did last game. I mean, I didn't get wrecked super hard, but, you know, it's the nature. So I know they don't. They probably don't have. I'm not sure about playing Mordred there, because now he's slow, so he's really slow. There's a healer behind him. We'll just kind of let it go. Okay, so they're going to play that. That's a pretty common spell to try to counter this. If the healer dies, I'll play another healer. Okay, the healer died, so I'm going to play another healer. My Ravager's kind of doing the same thing I did. So we got an interesting thing where we have 2 Ravagers here. So I really want to play this here to support the double Ravager. You know, whatever happens over here happens. Okay, my teammate's going to support it. Nice. Yeah, so he's still going to keep value. So Healing Fireball can be used here or here. I'm gonna use Healing Fireball there, actually. I think it's more valuable there than on the Mordred. It's kind of you can make arguments for either, but since these are here and they're taking for this thing's a problem for them because it's just doing damage and they can't do anything about it. Now they're taking a bunch of damage from all these Brutuses, and actually it's getting really sketchy for my opponents. I'm gonna play Rage now. This might actually be GG. It's not a little early to call it, but yeah. So this is what can happen with double Ravager, is double Brutus is sometimes is just so strong that your opponents just get their shit pushing and they can't do anything about it. Yeah, that happens. As you kind of might notice, Ravager is kind of a volatile master to where even he wins super hard or loses super hard sometimes. And sometimes there's close games, but it's just the nature of how his stuff works. Okay, so we'll do... I'll see how this next game goes, and then I'll decide if I want to do one more or just end it and call it for this episode for 2v2s. I've been talking for like 3 hours to myself in this room, so I have less energy to commentate on stuff because, well, you know, you can only talk to yourself so much, I guess. Yeah. Eventually, I'll do different decks. I think every episode I'll do a deck and kind of try to give a quick rundown of what the deck tries to do. Because I've got a bunch of like little things I threw together because why not? All right, found the match. Who's our next victim? There's Slump. So yeah, this is like the new expansion, Minion Masters, Nightmares, and there's Mordred there. He's like the big, you know.
Masters, get ready.
Alright, so it's Setsu, Ravager against Stormbringer, Setsu. Alright, so I like this hand. I'm just going to play... It's almost never a terrible play to play Barrel Scratch there. Like, it usually doesn't go terribly. Like they... I mean, that was 4 mana spent against the 3. That's a teammate, didn't play anything, but... Oh well. Now I'm going to play Crossbow Dudes and take the bricks back. Actually, I think I'm just going to wait for the Barrel Scrats. I'm going to play a Crossbow Dudes here to kill this flying unit. Okay, so they denied our bridge, so now they're going to think that. They played Lightning there. I don't think that was a good use of Lightning. I'm not really sad about that Ghost. That's a bad Ghost, actually, because, yeah, it's not doing anything now. I should play a unit, so I'm just going to cycle Healer in the back. Because I didn't want to commit to playing any of these yet. Okay, the Ghost almost got value when it shouldn't have, but, you know, whatever. Now I'm going to play Craggle, because Craggle's really... So this is a really good scenario for Craggle. Kind of. I'm going to Fireball this so Craggle doesn't die super fast. Well, yeah, okay, he got overwhelmed. That's sad. I had a scenario there where Craggle could have did pretty good, but he got overwhelmed. He still got me 2 discounts, so whatever. Healers here are still going to heal this, so that's pretty good. I'm going to play that there to help support Terror Brutus. Yeah, just kind of support Terror Brutus so you get more damage. I'm trying to think. I might try to save Mordred for the Cleaver. I'm not quite sure what I want to do yet. I'll hold on to Rampage. Okay, so yeah, look at all that damage we got from my first push. Because I played that there and it just... That drone there probably did... I don't know, like 1,000-ish damage almost to their Master Tower. Maybe like 800 to 1,000. Either way, he did pretty good there. He had stupid little hooker. Oh well. So now I'm just kind of cycling cards at this point because I'm looking for a good opportunity to play Mardred because it's a big investment. Spend all the time. I just haven't found a good investment. Now I might think about it there. So my opponents have 2 ghosts, which is interesting to note. Alright, I think I'm gonna... Okay, I don't have Fireball, so actually playing it now is kind of fun. I think I'm just gonna save back. Craggle kills these things in 1 hit, so that's why it's pretty good. So I'm gonna play him to kill that first. My healer is just gonna be sad, but whatever. Oh yes, give me them discounts. Yeah, unfortunately we're gonna take a lot of damage there, but you know. Sorry, teammate. Okay, we're about even in life now. Alright, so now I'm gonna play Mardred, because I've got a free pitch. Start my push there. The big thing is having Fireball for them Ghost. That's the biggest thing I need whenever I try to commit to doing that. I think I'm gonna play aimbot in the back behind it. Unfortunately, I don't have healer, but, you know, whatever. Got healing Fireball to heal him back up a little bit. I'm just gonna save my mana. I really want to do Rage here. Oh, wait, there's that unit. Okay. So that unit blows up and does 200 damage to everything. So now I'm going to healing Fireball that. Okay, it's not worth Rampage. It was really debatable, but... So I'm just cycling cards, so I'm not burning mana, because you can't go over 10 mana. You can go to 11, technically, because as soon as you get to 10, like if I wait here a second, you'll see. The bar will do kind of a thing like there. So now I actually have 11 mana, so as soon as I played that, I went to 6 instead of 5. So that's kind of like a little fun tip. Okay, Crackle is good against those. They're gonna Ghost. Okay, that's another really... My opponent plays really questionable good. So Crackle is really good against these skeletons that keep spawning. I'm actually gonna save my healer. I'm just gonna let Crackle... He got 2 discounts, whatever. Alright, so now I'm gonna try an all-in push on Mardred with healer. And hopefully this will kill it. Okay, so we've got this thing. It's kind of interesting they played that, because they're doing 200 damage to themselves every time they do that. They didn't really accomplish much there. Interestingly, I'm going to play that here. Okay, Terror Brutus spawned. I really want to rage Terror Brutus. Oh, there. Or, you know, I don't pay attention and the random drone just kills them because they ignored it. Alright then, whatever. I guess that was an anticlimactic way to end that game, but here we are. Alright. What do we have for time? Okay. Well, it is time to end this here. Thanks everyone for watching another video for whatever reason. I have no outro. I might make one eventually. I don't know. It's a lot of work, you know, like. Anyways, goodbye.